Okay. Vita. I'm gonna show y'all boys where I'm from, man. I'm from. I don't understand. I told them, just leave me alone. Just leave me be, bro. I don't bother nobody, bro. I don't bother nobody, man. I be coolin'. Big boss KPO. Matter of fact, Chef KPO here to talk this boxing. Buckle up. We got a victim. It's a bud buddy that came in my comment section. Right? I wasn't even talking about Terrence Crawford. I didn't say anything about Terrence. This is how I know they sack chasers, bro. I made a video about Devin Haney. That's what I made a video about. I was talking about Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. This nigga bring up Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. What are we doing? What are we doing? The man say, or woman, whoever it is, right? The title of his page or her page, whoever it is 2 cents. Now I know it ain't 2 cents boxing because I fool with 2 cents boxing. So I know it ain't her. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not 2 cents boxing. 2 cents boxing solid. Shout out to 2 cents boxing. But this dude page is called 2 cents, right? Matter of fact, I think 2 cents boxing need to flag this dude page for bopping off her page. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. But this particular individual, right, came on my comment section and said, "Oh, you were crying about Errol Spence. You were crying about him. I know if Bud popped dirty for PEDs, you will make all type of videos about him." Shut that soft stuff up. If my aunt had nuts, she'll be my uncle. Come on, man. Stop playing with me, bro. Like, we don't deal with the ifs. We deal with the facts. That's what we do on this channel. Okay? Don't come on my channel with no foolishness. First of all, talking about some if. If this, if that. If you had a pair of testicles, you wouldn't have put that soft-ass comment on my page. If you weren't a rainbow boy, you wouldn't celebrate Pride Month. If. We don't celebrate ifs. We deal with the facts on Boss Page. That's what it is. Take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry I had to use that vulgar language. But I told y'all, I have no tolerance for bud buddies. I don't have no tolerance. I don't care. My mission is to extinct all them niggas. Right? No, I'm not talking about people who are fans of Terrence Crawford, because like I say, I respect Terrence Crawford, right? I'm talking about bud buddies. There's a difference between a bud buddy and a fan of Terrence Crawford, right? A fan of Terrence Crawford is a fan of boxing, right? No, let me rephrase that. A fan of Terrence Crawford have the understanding that, hey, like Jay Will. Jay Will is a fan of Terrence Crawford, but he's logical, right? He don't do crash dummy stuff. Jay Will, my partner, he don't do crash dummy stuff. He'll defend Terrence Crawford, but he's logical. If I say something that's facts, he's going to be like, well, that's true. But in my opinion, this is what, you know what I'm saying? You know, if I'm making a video about Devin Haney, he's not going to bring up Terrence Crawford, right? So when I'm making a video about a whole nother fighter, and you bring up Terrence Crawford, they let me know you a bud buddy, you a sack chaser, you a go liver, you a meat gobbler. Pause, no diddy. You know what I'm talking about? And that's just what it is. You out here talking about Terrence. I made a video about Devin Haney. This is stuff these boys be doing. They do these drive-by comments, and then when the smoke come their way, they disappear. Or they want to report your comment. Man, stop playing with me, bro. I'm not one of them ones to be playing with. I'm not, bro. We deal with the facts on my channel, bro. We don't deal with none of the fugazi stuff. We don't do none of that. We deal with facts. That's just what it is. All that emotional stuff, throw it in the trash. I could tell by the boy comment or whoever comment, you ain't no man. You ain't have your dad in your life. Your dad ain't came back from getting that milk from the stove. Huh? Like, man, stop playing with me, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Like, man, we don't operate like that. I'ma say this so calmly and I'm done. when it came to the Errol Spence Terence Crawford whole debacle fight, right, situation, I picked Errol Spence. I felt like Errol Spence was being disrespected. I still feel like Errol Spence gets disrespected as a fighter. You hear people say stuff that Errol Spence basically can't fight. And he fought flat-footed fighters who were tailor-made for him, and he has all these flaws. You know, these were things that they're saying after the fight. Nobody was really saying this before the fight with Terence Crawford. Then he loses to Terence Crawford, right? And then it's like, oh, yeah, see? Yeah, he was flat-footed. He sucks. You got people saying Errol Spence sucked. I'm like, oh, if he sucked, then Terence Crawford sucked. Because Terence Crawford only fought Errol Spence. That's his only top fight. You know, but then you have people try to argue, oh, he fought, you know, they bringing up stuff from 135. I'm like, what weight class is Errol Spence at? He at 147. Terence Crawford at 147. All right, so let's stick to the facts, okay? Fact of the matter is, Crawford ain't fought no elite fighters until he fought Errol Spence, right? That's just real talk. That's what it is. Now, I already know what Jay Will gonna say. Errol Spence ain't fought no elite fighters either. Shout out to Jay Will. But all I'm saying, at the end of the day, Errol fought better competition than Terence Crawford at 147 pounds. He has a better resume than Terence Crawford. That's the facts. There ain't no emotions behind that. I'm not sitting there fishing or nothing. That's just what it is. He fought better competition. He had to go through the tougher road to get belts and all that. Crawford didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do any of that. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have did all that. I'm telling you right now, he wouldn't have. He wouldn't have went and fought all them dudes. He may have fought one or two. He wouldn't have fought all them dudes. Right? Especially, it was a lot of dudes that Errol kind of had to like go through Al to get these fights made. Because they didn't want to fight Errol. So Errol had to kind of go through Al, and Al had to go to the sanctioning bodies, and you know it was a lot that Errol had to do to get these fights made, because they didn't want to fight him. You know what I'm saying? They was looking at him how they look at Boost, how Crawford's talking about Boost, high risk, low reward, right? Errol started getting a little money, and they was like, okay. But around that time, Errol already went to Al. Was like, look, I want these fights. And that's just what it is. Look at Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman deprived Errol Spence of a fight for the longest time. And then, now all of a sudden, Keith Thurman, he ain't at the top no more. He want to fight. This is stuff I be talking about. When Keith Thurman's at the top, oh, he treated Errol like he was nothing. You know what I mean? He got to do more. He got to get a belt. Errol get a belt. Oh, no, nope, not the ponytail swinging. Just imagine a ponytail. Nope, not today, not this week, not this month, not this second, not this parameter. No, like, no. I'm telling you, bro, like, that's just what it is, G. Like, so Errol had to do all this stuff, get these belts. And then Crawford, you know, he took care of business, you know, and then he fought Errol and he took care of business, you know. And I told y'all, that was the best Terence Crawford I've ever seen out of all his fights. I've seen all of them. I've watched all the Terence Crawford fights. I've been watching Terence Crawford since before I watched Errol. You know what I'm saying? I remember when he became undisputed at 140 against Ndongo. I remember the Jose Benavidez focus on your fight if you not make it to your fight. I remember the Gamboa. I remember the Ricky Burns. I remember all that. The Thomas Delorme. I remember all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta keep it funky, bro. Like, all that. I was excited for that boy when he won that undisputed belt from Ndongo. He was jumping up and down and stuff. I remember. You know what I mean? I just felt like, hey, Errol gonna beat him because styles make fights. I'm looking at how long Bud take to get going in fights. You know what I mean? He took it. He takes his time. You know what I'm saying? But against Errol, when he fought Errol, he didn't take his time. He kind of came out immediately and was like, all right, I got this. Like I say, Cud normally take his time. He normally will, you know, wait a couple of rounds, then he'll, you know, pick you apart. But he didn't do that against Errol. He got straight to the business. You know what I'm saying? And he was well prepared, right? He knew what Errol was going to do before Errol even did it. Why is that? He studied Errol Spence. I've been telling y'all, he been studying this man. He studied him. Him and Bomac and Red and the Hispanic dude, I don't even know the Hispanic coach's name. They did a phenomenal job studying Errol Spence. You know what I mean? They knew what he was going to do before he even did it. They knew his offensive attack and defensive attack. They knew it. They knew, okay, he's going to have a defensive movement off this offensive attack. Right? Okay, he's going to angle this way off this offensive attack. They knew all that. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to sit here and act like, oh, Crawford just went in there like he just got off the couch. No. The man came in there prepared. He had a phenomenal game plan. And I give him 1,000% credit for that. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep it funky. We got to keep it 1,000. I'm not going to sit here and disrespect the man and act like the man ain't that dude. And I've always said he that dude. I just felt like Errol would beat him. That's what it is. And I even said this. I said, even before the fight, I said, man, we can't sit here and act like if this person lose, this is it for their career. You know what I mean? Yeah, I jokingly said, you know, or before the fight, like, yeah, Terrence Crawford might retire. You never know, right? But that's because these niggas was talking. I always said, factually, I said, look, just because this fighter loses to this fighter don't mean it's over for them, right? Just like I feel like it's not over for Errol right now. I don't feel like Errol Spence's career is over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he making certain comments because he may be having certain doubts. You know what I mean? That's what happens when you take your first loss. All these thoughts start coming in your head. Trust me, when I lost my first amateur fight, I had all these thoughts coming in my head to the point where, like, I'm like, dang, am I even good? You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, I lost. Like, I suck. Like, that's the stuff you think. When you lose, it's not a good... You should feel like that when you lose, especially when you feel like you the best. You know, you shouldn't sit there and be like, dang, man, all right, I lost, whatever. No. You're like, dang, I lost. Dang, man. Like, you should have these thoughts running through your mind. Like, dang, okay, I need to get better at this. Okay, I need to do this. Like, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so I understand what Errol Spence is thinking as a fighter. He like, man, I lost. Like, and how I lost. I think if Errol just would have lost, he probably wouldn't feel as bad if he put on a good performance and he just so happened to just lose. But it's how he lost that made him feel how he feel. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't never heard me disrespect Crawford and say he sucked. You ain't never heard me say that. And this is the last video I'm gonna make talking about this stuff. When it came down to Terrence Crawford, you go watch all my videos because people pick and choose what they want to listen to in my videos. I've always said Errol Spence got to fight a complete fight to beat Terrence Crawford. Didn't I say that? I want you to go back, watch all my videos, all of them. When I do my fight breakdowns, dating back to 2022, when this thing was like really about to happen, I said, hey, Errol got to fight a complete fight against Crawford. He got to have a mixture of the Sean Porter fight, you know, and the Mikey fight, right? That's what I said. So what does that mean when I say things like that? When I say he has to have a complete fight, that means that Terrence Crawford's that damn good. Errol gotta fight a complete fight to beat Terrence Crawford. That's what I said. Jay Will, didn't I say that? Jay Will, I need you to, in the comment section, I need you to answer. Didn't I? Because Jay Will watched all my videos when I was talking about Errol. Me and Jay Will have had so many debates. But like I said before, I've made those comments about Terrence Crawford. I sat there and said, hey, he a great fighter. Errol got to fight a complete fight. Those are things I've said. You never heard me say, man, that nigga suck. Errol finna steamroll cut. Nah. Only thing I said was this is going to be a tough fight. I said, but don't be shocked if it's one-sided. That's what it is. And I said it could be one-sided airway. I said, I'm not sitting there saying that's going to happen. I said, don't be shocked. And Terence Crawford said, nah, bro, it's going to be one-sided my way. And that's just what it is. That's what happened. You know, you ain't never heard me make no excuse and say, oh, Errol lost because he was weight drained. All that. You ain't never heard me talk like that. What you heard Boss say is, hey, Errol lost due to poor game planning, right? From Derrick James and Errol Spence, right? I blame both of them for that loss because of the fact of this. Derrick James, he's the head coach, right? He had, and he was a part of Man Down Promotions. I don't know if he still is, but he was a part of it, right? He had 4 fights, like back to back to back. Errol Spence is preparing for the biggest fight of his life, and you allow your fighters to schedule fights within like a couple of weeks of each other. That don't fly. That's poor game planning. If I'm Derrick James, I would have told Errol, hey, y'all need to like put that fight like later. You know what I mean? Or hell, since Errol is the biggest star of our stable, hey, look, Frank, y'all gonna have to push you move your fight up or move it to the end of the year. I'm trying to game plan for Errol. Jamel got a fight in September. Like, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have did it like that. I'm not gonna sit here and have if I'm a coach, you know what I mean? And I'm getting into that coaching lane. So if I was a coach, I'm not gonna have my fighters game plan. Having fights back to back, and I gotta come up with all these game plans in the short amount of time, and they all big fights for them. I'm not doing that. That's why Errol Spence lost. He lost because of poor game planning. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence looked unprepared when he was in that ring with Crawford. That's just what it is. That's what I saw, right? You got other people that may feel like, hey, Errol lost because of his weight and this, that, and the third. You ain't never heard me make no excuses. I don't make excuses. You ain't never heard me say, oh, Errol lost because he was weight drained. Nah. One thing I did say is Errol looked like something was wrong with him. You know what I'm saying? But that's it. You never heard me say, oh, man, Errol lost because he was weight drained. He was drained in the weight. Nah. You never heard me say that, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, we got to get our priorities in check. You feel me? But like I say, Boss gonna continue to stay on y'all throat, stay on y'all head. And that's just what it is. I ain't got time for the games. All that. You bud buddies won't smoke, you gonna get it. Y'all let me know what y'all think, Boss go.